Silk, one of the oldest fibers known to man, a shimmering thread of unparalleled grandeur. Some 2,000 years ago, Chinese merchants traded this precious commodity westwards, forging the Old Silk Road, an ancient network of passageways over land and sea. Yet the origins of silk were shrouded in mystery, a secret carefully guarded by China for centuries. Only once the silkworms and their eggs were smuggled out did the knowledge of cultivating silk reach this European town. Italy's silk industry began as early as the 12th century when cities in the north began exporting silk across Europe to satisfy the increasing demand from the rich and the powerful. And today, Como remains at the center of silk production. Nestled in the north of Italy, Lake Como is known as a city of silk.
Thanks to the presence of the right climate, the right temperature, the silkworm breeding was possible thanks also to the presence of the cultivation of mulberry trees. Leaves from this tree is the only food those little silkworms want to eat.
By the late 1800s, Como was outputting 60,000 tons of cocoons a year. But with the onset of the two world wars, the pride of an entire country was interrupted and dismantled.
At a certain point, after the Second World War, it became cheaper and cheaper to import from China.
Unable to compete with more competitive prices, Italian spinning mills were forced to shut down. Yet, Como endured.
Even if we don't produce anymore the yarn, because we import it, what remains in Como is the rest of the story. So Como remains today the unique place in the world where you have a very high level of production. I mean, you sell to Mrs. Obama, for example, or Kate Middleton, but you sell also for the most expensive market you can think, for tapestry, the big villas, but especially for fashion collections.
Today, Como produces 85% of Italian silk and around 70% of the silk used in Europe. For over a century, the family-run business of Mentero has been one such company that weaves and prints and designs silk that is then sent all over the world. Here, silk production is an artwork, a craft carefully perfected for generations. Using both traditional and newer printing techniques, Mentero supplies the world's best, including brands like Valentino and Salvatore Ferragamo. I have to say, I never expected to see such a massive silk production house here in Italy. What's the process? How does this work?
Everything starts from the yarns from China. Then there is the process of the weaving that we make in Italy. And then that's the printing phase that actually starts. The color is spread on the screen, and then the fabric should be dried, and then it starts the second screen with a different color.
Using age-old methods like these, one scarf can take up to 6 months to create. It's a labor of love that Franco Mentero believes is still crucial to their success.
It's a kind of migration from the traditional printing to the digital printing for a reason of timing and for a reason of costs. The real challenge for us is to continue using the traditional printing at the same time of the digital printing, but to produce something different.
But it's not just printing differently. To rejuvenate the industry, they're thinking of growing silk once more.
The silk that we see here is 98%, the yarn is made in China. But we have the right climate, we have also the right territory to do that. Probably we cannot change the world in this way, but we can do something new, going back to the past.
An Italian company, Dorca, is doing just that. Interwoven with gold, their artisanal jewels use silk spun from locally grown worms. This could be the future, a way to remain competitive on the catwalk, to proudly boast not just made in Italy, but grown in Italy. It may not yet compare to the silk production of China, but for a company like Mantero, these yarns might one day be spinning a new Silk Road.